All right, today we have our final chart before the end of the marking period. So you can see down here, this is called copy of chart 3, but because of the way the situation is right now, meeting every other day, this will be our final chart. All right, looking up here, I'm going to go ahead and shrink this down here. You can see we have a table up here with some information it's called player stats, centered right there, and then points per game right below that centered. And we have the box A3 is the word player. And we have text rotated and centered up and down and left and right, games 1 through 5, total points, average, and scrolling down here you can see all the players. I believe there's 10 players, all the points for each of those players. You're going to put in totals and average, and then you are going to create this table here on the bottom. All right, so I'm going to go through that a little bit more with you. All right, so first of all, I just copied and pasted just the data because I think at this point this should be somewhat easy for you to do. So again, one more time. And I expect you to like change fonts and stuff to make it look nice. So I'm not giving you specific font sizes, but obviously if I click on player stats, this is size 28 Arial, so it's a bigger font, right? And it's A1 to H1 merged. Right below that, we got size 16, A2 to H2 merged. And then everything else is size 14. All right, so I'm going to blow this up here a little bit and just make sure. So the first thing you need to do in the copy that you have, all of the stuff is blacked out. So what you need to do is fill in your total points and average answers right here, your formulas. So I'm going to click where I want total points. I'm going to go to my function button and I'm going to do sum. All right, and so I'm obviously adding up for the late Kobe Bryant. I'm going to hit enter and it's going to give me 104. Now you all have seen how this does this autofill here. All right, I haven't used it, but at this point, hopefully most of you have figured that out. I'm just going to hit check, and that's going to go ahead and autofill rest those sums in. Basically, the spreadsheet is figuring out how to do it on its own. And then the next one over, I'm going to do average. So again, I'm going to go ahead and hit my formula button, hit average, and I only want to average the 5 games. We would not want to include total points in our average. And again, so it's going to be 20.8 and so on. All right. You can see that for whatever reason that kind of changed a different font there. So I could highlight all of this, and let's say I make it all 14 on this one. All right. And most of it looks like most stuff are centered. I could go ahead and maybe bold these because they're important numbers. Oops, I missed a little bit down there. Let me get that as well there. Make that all 14 as well. All right, now, and bold. In terms of the chart, in some ways the charts are really easy, but they're also like a little bit, to do the editing or the formatting on the chart is a little bit confusing, I think, because things I want to see on the chart, and I'll probably add this, I need a title across the top, all right? I need total points on each ends of the bar. I need a label here called an axis label, and I need a label down here, another axis label. So this is my horizontal axis label, and this is my vertical axis label. All right, so you have to go through settings on that to make sure you do that. All right, so first thing I need to do is highlight what I want graphed. I do not want total points and average graph. I just want to graph the games. So each player only has 5 bars. And we're going to do bar graph for everybody. So I do not want to graph total points or average. So I'm just highlighting this information. I am highlighting from A3, this is one of the big mistakes students make, down to F13. That is all I want graphed. Once I have that highlighted, I'm going to go up to my chart button right here, insert chart, and it's going to automatically calculate a chart for me. Okay, and you can see it, put it right here. And I can move this around just like it's a graphic. But there's a lot of stuff wrong on this. Alright, so it's a column chart, that's good. Alright, I got names across the bottom, that's good. Alright, you can like switch it, but you don't need to. So for example, if I want, I'm just going to show you, but I don't want to do this. I can switch rows and columns and stuff like that. I don't want to do that, so I'm going to take that back off. So in general, the setup is good on this. I just got to do all the customization. So I'm going to go over to customize, all right, and you can see right here across the top is this chart and axis title. Now I think this is what's a little bit like kind of confusing about this. So I'm going to start here with the chart title. All right, so you see under customize charts and axis titles, there's another drop down. So there's like kind of like 3 layers to get to this. So chart title, so this means across the top. Right now, it automatically put in those games and stuff, or it doesn't have anything. So I want to put in player stats there. So I'm going to type in player stats for my title. All right, and Robato's fine, but I do want it centered. So I'm going to hit that center. Okay. So now you can see it automatically put that there, player stats. All right, so we're good there. Now I got to do my horizontal axis title. So that's across the bottom. All right, horizontal axis title, those are players. So I'm going to type in players. All right, and I also want that centered as well. So it is centered there. And you can see that popped up there. And then finally, I want to do my vertical axis title. And those are going to be, of course, points. So I'm going to type in points here. All right, and you will see points showed up there. So now I'm getting close to it, right? I mean, it doesn't take long to do it, but again, it's kind of a little bit confusing, I think, to get down to that layer. So I got player stats across the top, points across the side, players across the bottom. I don't worry about the font size or anything like that. And then finally, I want to go to series. All right, so I got to go to the next one down, and I hit this drop down arrow. I'm going to go to series, and that is where I'm going to find the checkbox to turn on data labels. And you can see it has data labels there now. All right, so now I have basically all my formatting done. Player stats across the top, points across the bottom, players across the bottom, or points across the side, players across the bottom, data labels and everything. All right, I'm going to hit this X, and what I can do now is I can drag this around. There we go. It's kind of moving slow, and it's kind of congested. All right, and I have to stay within the size of my record screen here, but I can make this bigger, which will just make everything more legible, and I can go ahead and just stick that down there. I can even make it a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. Let me go down to 50% here. Everything's just being a little bit laggy there, and I'll just go ahead and stretch that bigger. And you can, what I want you to do is just stick it underneath your table, your actual spreadsheet up there. All right, so again, one last time before I let you go ahead. You don't have to do anything with colors. Like, you can go ahead if you want to change some colors, that's fine. I didn't assign anything like that. So player stats across the top, points across the side, data labels on each bar, players across the bottom. All right, and then finally, you can see how I have this colored in. This was created before the alternating colors were available. Quite honestly, probably this would look better if I went to my paint bucket here, and I'll just reset all of this and go to, I like the, yeah, this stinking thing won't let me see it. I like the alternating colors. I think it makes them easy to read, but I can't get to it because of my screen. Let me see if I, yeah. Alright, it's kind of outside my record screen, but if I go alternating colors and select whatever, you know, that's up to you what color. I think that probably even makes a nicer looking spreadsheet than the random colors there. Alright, so again, this is your final one, so make sure that you have all of that stuff in there. Alright, and so it's going to look pretty similar to this. Again, if this was the one that I was turning in, I'd probably go across the top, shrink all of those down a little bit like so, and make it look something like that.